Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our online lesson for Thursday, the 2nd of August. This is Robert Jamieson speaking. I hope you all had a good weekend's chess last weekend. We had 3 RJ Shield tournaments, and congratulations to Lachlan, who won the one down in Bentley, which was quite a good field, and also to Liam, who beat his big sister on countback up in Mildura for the first time. So that was a good breakthrough for Liam. Now, I have with me today a young man named Ethan Hoy. Ethan, how are you?
Good.
And I've got your stats there. It says you go to Doncaster Gardens Primary, is that right?
Yes.
And how old are you?
8.
8. Okay, you've got a rating of 706, so another 200 points should be a junior master. And you play quite a bit there, so that's good. So welcome to Ethan. We're going to be looking at some of his games from the RJ Shield tournament and also perhaps a few other interesting positions. Let's start off with the puzzle. I think I've got most of you fooled. Some of you have tried to answer it in the questions, but I haven't seen anyone who's got it. Maybe Ryan thinks he's got it. Let's have a look. This was from an online game between Jack Puccini and Dave Beaumont the other night, and we were watching as it happened, and it was quite exciting because we were wondering whether it was a checkmate or not. So the first move is fairly obvious. Rook h2 check. Did you get that one, Ethan?
Yes.
Yep, all right. Has to take. What's the next move?
Queen F2.
Queen f2, all right. That chases the king up. And what's the next move now?
Rook H5.
5 check. All right, now this is the hard part. I presume most of you got this far. Did you find a good move here, Ethan, or you're stuck at this spot?
Stuck at this spot.
Yeah, the black would like to play f5 check, but he can't because the pawn's pinned by the queen. So the good move is king h6. So that's threatening pawn up to f5 checkmate. So white snaffles the pawn. Now, black comes up with a really, really good move here. So, Ethan, could you find a really good move for black? Looking at all checks and captures? Get a sacrifice, maybe?
Not sure.
Not sure? All right. Well, here it comes. Rook h4 check. Now, if pawn takes the rook, queen g2 is checkmate. So what has to take with the king? What could we do now? Can we check him with the queen?
Queen H2.
H2 check. The king would have to go to g4. And can you finish him off? You see another really good check with the queen?
Queen H5.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really cute checkmate, sacrificing the 2 rooks to get a mate there. So I hope you all enjoyed that combination. Whether Ryan got it or anyone else got it, if you did, very well done, because thinking 7 moves ahead is a good effort. Right, let's change our databases and what are we going to look at first? We'll have a look at this. All right, now, last week, for those of you who were here and those of you who remember, we talked largely about blunders, and I suggested that a lot of your games were decided by blunders, and the way you could stop blundering was by slowing down and maybe checking your moves, even stopping and counting to 5 before you make your actual move. Now, whether any of you took any of my advice is another question, because I reiterated at the start of the RJ Shield, but as I walked around, I still saw a lot of blunders and a lot of really fast moves going. So we'll see some examples today to see if you took my advice or not. Right, let's start off with Ethan's game against Daniel. Now, you were white here, Ethan, and it goes like this. So this is a pretty normal start. And then you played knight g5. Can you tell me about knight g5? What are you trying to do there?
I'm trying to do the fly lever attack.
Okay, but you're attacking on f7 with the weak spot with a knight and a bishop. But can he defend it or not?
Yes.
How could he defend it?
Castle.
He could just castle. So is your knight in a good spot then? Is it going to take that pawn and give itself up for rook and pawn, knight and bishop, or you have to go back and retreat maybe?
Maybe go back.
So then it wasn't a good attack, was it, if you've got to go back?
Yeah.
Yeah. So In this position, knight g5 is probably a bad move because you're disobeying the rule about moving a piece twice as well. So let's see what happened. He just castled. You castled. He said go back. So there you go. You had to go back. He played d6. You played d3. Now have a look at the position. It's black's turn to move, and the position's exactly the same, except black's got that extra move in h6. So really, he's 2 moves ahead of you now. So because of your knight excursion, you've given him like 2 free moves.
Yes.
See, so if you next time you play, don't play knight g5. Leave your knight back until you're castled, and then you're ready to build up your attack. Let's just quickly. I'm going to go through most of these games fairly quickly till we get to the interesting part. So we swapped off a few bits. Then he did the same thing to your queen. It was a silly attack, and then he went back again. So he's given you a couple of moves back. So that was nice. Right, now I'd like everyone to have a quick look at white's position and type in the question what move they think white should play here. So we're nearly out of the opening. We've developed our pieces, castled our king, connected our rooks. So we need an idea for white. Some of you are saying f4, some of you are saying rook d1, knight d5 from William, h3 for Mitch, knight d5 from Sam and Gemma, queen g6 from Jason. Looks spectacular, but doesn't threaten anything. All right, so there's a few moves there. Do you remember what you played, Ethan?
Not sure.
Not sure? Okay, well, you played a funny move. You played knight there. Do you remember what you're up to there? Why would your knight want to go to b5?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, because it's like attacking everything that's really well defended, and it's just attacking all by itself. So that was a bad plan. So I think, look, I've played through a few of your games, and a lot of the time you seem to play knight to knight 5, trying to get an attack, and it's not really the right plan. So let's go back. The better plan would have been f4, getting the 2 pawns side by side, because I've spoken in our previous lessons that most people should remember. If you're trying to get a plan, go for the 2 pawns side by side, hopefully with the rooks behind, and then you can either keep pushing or swap off and create open files and stuff like that. So you nearly get it right because you, whoops, I'm going the wrong way. So you go to b5, he does that weird knight move. Now you play f4, but that ignores your c2 pawn, so you've given him a pawn. You have a few swap offs here. Then he gives you a check. Now, what would be the best way to get out of the check, do you think?
Rook f2, f2.
Do you want to have the rook blocked by the queen? No, it's pinned, so it can't move. What would be the better way? Could your king just hide in the corner, maybe?
Yeah.
Then it'd be permanent, get out of it. But you came up with a funny move. You said, have a free pawn. Do you remember why you did that?
No.
No, it's a bit puzzling because he took the e pawn. You ran away, and then he comes in here with a check. You have to put the rook in the way, and now he's chopping all your pieces. So you're a rook down. So it's pretty terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll just rip through the next few moves to show people what happened. We had another swap off. So you're a rook down and a pawn down. Now, if you were black, what would be your plan here? If you're ahead of material, what should you be doing?
Swapping off
Swapping off pieces or pawns?
pieces.
Pieces. So maybe you could play rook c1 or something like that. You played rook c4, which is a good move too. Now, I was watching this game and taking it down on my computer, and I thought, this is horrible. We're a rook and a zillion pawns down. We're just going to lose. So I went away and stopped recording. Do you remember what happened in the finish of the game?
I think we had a draw.
Yes, it's amazing. I came back later, and would you believe black had 3 rooks, not 2. He must have promoted a pawn to a rook against Ethan's 1 rook. But Ethan managed, through a few tricks, to swap off, and they ended up with king against king. So somehow Ethan got a draw out of this game. So that was amazing. Anyway, so from that game, so remember you played the knight g5, so that was a mistake, and knight b5 was a mistake as well. So moving your knights too much. So let's have a quick look at another game. We'll look at the one against Blake. Where are we? Blake. All right, so you're white. Now we'll see if we get some different result here. It's like a pretty similar sort of opening. You've castled this time, so that's good. But guess what happens now? You zoom in for the knight g5 again.
Yeah.
Is it a good attack now, or he can get out of it as well?
You can get out of it.
Yeah, he can castle. But you were lucky because he went in for a counter-attack. And he didn't get out of it. He forced you to play what you wanted to play. So this is really nice of him. So you've snaffled a free rook. So sometimes when you do the wrong thing, you can get lucky, but you've got to play as though you're playing a good player and not play slightly bad moves and hope he's going to make a mistake. Anyway, you're a rook up, so he's trying to get your knight, so you're running back. So he swaps, which opens up your king a little bit. How did you think you're going here? Were you happy here?
Not really.
Not really? A whole rook up, but why wouldn't you be happy?
Because my king.
Your king's a bit open. Yeah.
To go h1.
Yeah, your king's a little bit open, but extra rook should be good. So let's see what happens. Now, he's still trying to open it up. So you took him. He took back. Now, I'm a bit worried he's going to play queen h5 and mate us. But if he was to play queen h5 now, threatening mate in one, would you have a way to get out of it?
Yeah.
What would you do?
Not sure.
What about bishop e6 check, picking up the knight? So the bishop and the queen would be on the knight, and you'd be able to take the knight before he could mate you, so that'd be cool. So you're okay, but he played queen here. Now it's your go. Now when he makes his move, what should you be saying to yourself? Is there a question you should be asking yourself?
No, not really.
Not really? You don't remember from my previous talks? Well, what you should be doing is when your opponent makes a move, you should say, what is he threatening? Have you heard that one before?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So is he threatening something here?
Yep.
He's threatening a nasty checkmate with knight e3 check. But you went for attack instead. You didn't see it coming. So kaput, and it was all over. So you're a rook up, but we ended up losing the game. So that was a bit tragic. Now, why are we making these mistakes? You got any ideas why you think you made some mistakes in the tournament?
No idea.
Were you moving too fast? How long did you spend on your game?
Like about like 9, 10.
You reckon you spent 9 or 10 minutes?
10 to 15, I think.
I was watching some of your games. I reckon you spent 3 or 4 minutes. As I was watching you play, and what would generally happen is your opponent would move, and your hand would already be hovering over your piece, ready for your reply, sort of before you'd even thought. It's like you're playing a lightning game and you've got to move really quickly, whereas 15 minutes is a lot of time. So you should be sitting on your hands and going through the ritual where I said we say, what is he threatening? And making certain he's not got some big threats that you don't see. So anyway, that was a pity we didn't do too well in that one. So let's have a look at another ripper game against Oliver, the superstar of the tournament. Well, I was just telling David a minute ago it was worth going to the tournament on Sunday just to see the smile on Oliver's face at the prize giving. He's so happy at winning the under 8 or under 10 prize, whatever it was. Anyway, so Oliver is white, you're black. And it's looking a bit like what we've seen before. And guess what Oliver does?
What?
The same thing as you. He's playing knight g5. So what should you do?
Castle.
You should castle. But you love moving your knights, so you did the same thing back at him. Was that a good move?
No.
So why did you decide to do that move? Can you remember?
No.
No? Okay, because he can just take that for free. See, so you probably moved too quickly. So now he's still threatening f7 and is a piece up. So you thought, oh, drat, I better move my other knight. So just about every game you play, you're moving your knights up for the attack. Now, Oliver probably could take on f7, but he wanted to defend that c2. So you've made him go back a little bit. And now would you believe you get his knight?
Yeah.
So both of you blundered a knight back. So it's a funny game. Now, he played up there. So what did you think he was threatening when he did that? He's threatening to take the bishop and take the pawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what you did was you took him like that. But he actually had a bigger threat, a sneaky threat, which you hadn't seen. I think this is one of the trouble with some of you juniors is you're not sort of looking at the whole board. You're just looking at the area where the pieces move. So pawn to d4, so you're having a look around there. What's he threatening? And you miss a really important thing. So again, you probably haven't slowed down to say what's he threatening and to check your move. So now we're a queen down. It's terrible. You could have taken his knight as well, but you've gone for castling. So then we have a bit more of a swap off. Now you're fighting back here with winning the exchange in the corner. So that's cool. And then you're chasing his bishop away. And he plays bishop b4. What's he threatening with bishop b4? He's threatening your pawn, is he? On d6?
He's pinning
He's pinning
my rook.
He's pinning the pawn so it can't move it. And he's threatening to take it for nothing. So what do you reckon you should do?
Move my rook.
You should move your rook, but instead of that, you moved your pawn. You don't remember why you moved your pawn?
No.
No, because that just loses a rook. Now what should you do here?
Take the bishop.
Take the bishop. You didn't take the bishop, you took the other pawn. So now you remember to take the bishop, but it's too late because he grabbed your rook. So it's all horrible here. He's bringing in the big guns to finish you off. He's threatening mate in the back rank. So you went there. Now, if you were Oliver, what move would you play for white here?
For white, I will play
Is it a really good move for white?
Queen h8.
Queen h8 checkmate. But poor old Oliver missed it. And would you like to tell everyone what happened at the end of this game? Did you lose horribly or what happened?
I had a draw.
You had a draw, yes. That was fantastic. You got a stalemate, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oliver ended up with queen and a couple of pawns, but he moved too quickly, like you moved too quickly, and got a stalemate. So that was very lucky. So 2 games you've been really lucky. But there's been lots and lots of blunders. See, so I think you're moving too quickly and you're not sort of checking your moves enough. So let's have a look at how some of the older guys play. What will we start off with? Let's have a look down here. All right, here's a position from Lachlan's round 1 game. Now Lachlan's white and he's in a bit of trouble because black's just played rook a6, hitting Lachlan's queen. So he's already a bishop down for a few pawns. So can the queen move anywhere to get out of that rook attack?
Not much.
No, it's pretty well trapped there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what can he do to save his queen? Can you think of anything? What move would you look at?
d6.
Pawn to d6, so that would be good because your queen would be attacking and would stop the rook taking the queen. But you reckon that would be the best move to play or not?
Not.
Why not?
Not sure.
Okay, well, let's put my system into practice. So I say you should decide on your move and then take 5 seconds, count to 5 or something, and just do a double check to see that your opponent hasn't got a really good reply. So you've decided you're going to play pawn to d6. So you look around the whole board and see if black has a really good reply, something you might have missed, or whether d6 is okay and you can do it. Okay.
The queen going g2.
Yes,
right?
the queen can take g2. So a minute ago, if you hadn't have stopped and checked, you wouldn't have noticed that. But now that you've taken the extra couple of seconds, you've noticed that. So we're in a big pickle. Can we do anything to stop that and save our queen? Can you find a good move for white? You guys can type in, if you like, what you'd play as white. Has Lachlan lost his queen, or he can find a way out of it? Can you see anything, Ethan? Can you have a counter attack, maybe? He's attacking your queen. Could you counterattack his queen?
Yeah.
What could you do?
F3.
F3, yeah. Most of you guys, Max and William, everyone, have picked that. So Lachlan played F3. All right, so now the other guy ripped off Lachlan's queen. So what move would you play for white? He's just taken your queen. What would you like to do?
Take his queen.
Okay, all right. Now let's do my system again. So you've decided you're going to take his queen. So let's take 5 seconds just to double check that that's not a big mistake or he hasn't got a better move or something like that. So have a quick look around the whole board. I'll count to 5 and you can see whether that's the right move or whether there's anything else you perhaps might like to have a look at. So 1, 2,
Pawn
3.
takes E6.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So Lachlan took the queen and the other guy put the rook back and poor Lachlan's still a bishop down for a couple of pawns and stuff. But if he had have taken those 5 seconds, as we talked about before, obviously pawn takes rook check first, like so. King moves, then you take the queen, and then Lachlan's exchange up. So you can see even the big boys, because Lachlan won the tournament, they're still making mistakes because they're moving too fast and perhaps not asking themselves the questions about what's the opponent going to reply and checking their move before they make it. All right, let's have a look at another one. We'll have Lachlan. Where are we? Oh, hang on, I'm up the wrong end. Lachlan, not Rebecca. Lachlan versus Joshua. All right. Now, I'll rip through the early moves in this game to get up to the position I want to get up to. They're all just plodding around and the material's equal. Lachlan's got a bit more space in the centre and stuff. All right. So, we got to this position, everyone. Lachlan's white and Joshua is black. Now, so the question is, what is Joshua going to play? So Joshua decided he's going to play knight takes bishop. So, Ethan, what would you take back with? Would you take back with the H pawn, the F pawn, or the knight? What do you think would be the best one?
F pawn.
You take back with the F pawn. Why would you choose the F pawn?
Then your rook will be open.
Okay. Everyone type in if you want to take back with the H pawn, the F pawn, or the knight. Few people are taking back with the knight. Sam's taking back with the H pawn, and so on. Okay, so you're going to take back with the F pawn. That's your decision?
Yeah.
Right, now let's do my thing again. We're going to stop, and we're going to count to 5, and we're just going to check our move. So we've got to look at the whole board and say, have we missed a good reply from him, or do we have a better move than taking the knight back? So I'll give you 5 seconds just to have a look. So 1, 2,
Knight.
3, 4, 5.
Knight.
So you now you've changed your mind. You're going to take with the knight.
Yeah.
Why did you change your mind?
Then not sure.
Not sure. Okay. All right. So now we've decided again. We're going to play knight takes knight. So let's do it again just to make certain. So we're planning to play knight takes knight. So I want you to look around the whole board and just so he hasn't got a good reply or you haven't got a better move than taking the knight back. So I'll give you one more go at 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4,
H take.
5. Nope. I think most of you guys have seen it now. So Lachlan, this time he was awake, and what he did was check. He didn't take back at all because he had mate in 2. Look at that, it's checkmate already. The game's over. And you didn't notice that. You were going to take the knight back. So why didn't you notice that? What do you think?
I didn't see the bishop.
You didn't see the bishop there.
Uh-huh.
You didn't see the bishop and the queen lined up with a check. So one of the things I say is to look at all checks and captures. So if we take that extra time before we make our actual move. So we've decided on a move. We should take our time, look at checks, captures, anything else, and look at the whole board, not just where the knight is or where the last move was made. And we might find something really good like that. All right. So we've done Lachlan. All right. Now we'll load a game. We're going to have a look at Rebecca versus Jamie. Let's have a talk to Rebecca if she's there. Hello, Rebecca. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How are you today?
Good, thank you.
That's good. How did you think you played in the tournament on Sunday?
Good.
Pretty good. What did you score?
6 out of 7.
6 out of 7. That's pretty good. So who swindled you? Was that Rod and Lachlan or something? Wasn't it on time?
Yeah, on time.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was a bit stiff, but you played pretty well. All right. Let's have a look at your game against Jamie. So Ethan's going to help me. So I'll leave you unmuted. So I might ask a few questions and you can comment as we go along. So you were white. All right.
Yeah.
So let's start off. So we'll compare how Rebecca plays, perhaps with how Ethan plays. Oh, now G3. What do you think of that, Ethan? Is that a funny move or a good move or what? You put your knights out and your bishops out, don't you?
Yeah.
So you'd say this is a funny move?
Not really.
Not really.
Because he can.
With the bishop, that's still okay.
And then castle.
So what's going on here, Rebecca? You're not playing the normal lines. What's your plot?
I feel like this is a solid opening, and like it gets my king safe, and I develop good and stuff.
So you're actually going to play the King's Indian attack, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you're playing a system, which is a good option if you want to get into the opening, play 8 or 10 moves without making any mistakes. Right. So let's see what happens. Have you heard of the King's Indian attack, Ethan, or not? Or the King's Indian defense?
No.
No. Or what it is. So here we have the basic position. So what Rebecca's done is she said, okay, I'm going for this setup, and I can pretty much do this no matter what my opponent does. So she's got her king nice and safe in the corner with a bishop and knight protecting it. She's got a foothold in the centre with the e-pawn. And it's just a sort of nice, safe position. So probably when you play your games, how many moves do you know at the start of the game? You've got to play e4 and knight f3 and bishop another knight out, or do you know lots of moves? Do you know like 10 moves deep or what?
I develop more.
You just develop your pieces along normal lines, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Black's going all right here. He's hasn't fianchetted his bishop, but his pieces developed and he's castled, so he's going okay. Then he went for the pin. All right. What would you do here, Ethan? Would you leave that pin there, or would you chase him away with h3?
Leave it there.
Why would you like to leave it there?
Then the queen can take it back.
Do you think he's going to take your knight, do you? Or is he just pinning you?
Just pinning it.
Okay. So if he's got you pinned, is that good for him or good for you?
Good for him.
Probably good for him if it's a pin, because now your knight can't move. So wouldn't it be a good idea to chase him away if it doesn't sort of open your king up too much?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rebecca chased him away as well. h3. So I'm happy with that. So he went back. So now the question is, have we gained a move with h3, or has Black provoked a target and h3 is now a bit of a target? Now, knight g5. Now you should be the expert here, Ethan, on knight g5s. You do it all the time. So is that a good move or a bad move, or what's she trying to do?
Taking the bishop.
She wants to take the bishop. Would that be a good swap?
Not really.
Why not?
Not sure.
Not sure? All right, Rebecca, what do you think? You tell us what your thoughts were.
I think it's actually a good swap because his queen goes to d7. They've both got a double aim at my h pawn,
Right.
And then it's also guarding all my all the spaces where my knight on d2 can go.
Okay, so you're pretty keen to get rid of that bishop.
Yeah.
Yep. Okie dokie. All right. So let's see what he did. He did queen d7. All right. Now I'll have a little poll question for people. So it's Rebecca as white to play. The question is, should she take that bishop or should she not take that bishop? So take or not take. Give you a second to make up your mind whether you'd take it or you'd not take it. All right, I'll launch the poll. So if everyone can start voting, do we want to take that bishop or not take it? Pretty close. Not take is just in the lead. We've still got lots of people to vote. Only 69% have voted. Come on, we need everyone to vote. 81% have voted, so there's still a few who haven't voted. All right, I'll close it off in a couple of secs. All right, close poll. Let's have a look. All right, so the not takes is 61% and the takes is 39%. So the not takes win. So, Ethan, would you take it or not take it?
Not take it.
Not take. Why wouldn't you take it? Why wouldn't you take it?
Because
What would be a good reason not to take it?
your bishop.
Maybe. All right. Rebecca, would you take it or not take it?
I think I should take it.
Okay. So all those silly people who said not take, what would you say to them?
Well, you can do either, but I just prefer to have bishops, but better than
the knight sort of thing.
And because they control more squares than knights.
All right. So let's see if we can find a not taker. Ryan, are you there?
Yes.
Were you a taker or
Yes.
a not taker? You were a taker, were you?
Not take.
You were a not taker.
Not take.
All right. So you explain to Rebecca why you don't want to take.
Because if you wait until he forces you to take, that means you have an extra move, and the bishop can't go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly right. Well done, Ryan. Thank you for that. So, Rebecca, you've made a little boo-boo here. You haven't preserved your options. Remember I've talked before about preserving your options? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Right, so the question for you is, can that bishop go anywhere?
No, but it can take the h3 pawn if I move my knight
hang on.
again.
The h3 pawn is protected twice. So at the moment, the bishop's not going anywhere at all, is it?
No.
No. All right, so you don't have to take it this move. Maybe you could take it next move or even the move after. And that preserves your options. Yeah. So, for instance, if you played c3, which would be the normal move in the King's Indian, then he plays h6, forcing you to take. So you still get the bishop, but you've got the useful move c3, and he's only got the marginal move h6. And if he takes back with the pawn, then he's weakened the g6 square. So the rule is we only take either when he forces us to take, or if there's some really, really good reason for doing so, like it gives you a big advantage. So little boo-boo from your point of view of taking that bishop. He took back with the pawn. All right, then you went knight f3. Were it me, I think I would have played c3. He went d5. Now, okay, we'll go back to Ethan. So Ethan, let's pretend you're white. He's just made a move. What should we be saying to ourselves when our opponent's made a move? Is there a question we should say to ourselves? Not really. What about what is he threatening? Have I said that before? Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So when your opponent makes a move, remember your game with Oliver?
Yeah.
No one looked at what the other guy was threatening. We were losing pieces all around the place. So what you should do is say, what is he threatening? So has Black got a threat here? He just played pawn to d5, so what is he threatening?
Nothing.
Nothing. You sure? Have you looked at all captures? Black's just played pawn to d5. Is he threatening to win anything?
He's winning the e4 pawn.
Yeah, he's attacking the e4 pawn twice, and it's only defended once, so he's probably threatening to take it. Now, Rebecca, bishop g5. Tell me about that. You ignored the threat?
I don't know.
Didn't see the threat? You wanted to take his knight? Why did we do that move?
I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure either. Because A, it loses a pawn, and B, I don't know what my bishop wants to do out there. I don't think it wants to take that knight. So that was probably a bit of a bad move. All right, so now he zaps the pawn, swaps off the queens first, and now he's gained a free, delicious, juicy centre pawn. Okay, now let's do it again. So Ethan, he's just taken our pawn. So what do we say to ourselves?
What's he threatening?
What's he threatening? Now, I want you to tell me, if you were black here, if you were white, sorry, what you think black might be threatening here. Give me any threats. There might be more than one. Now, if he takes on f2, so he's got knight and bishop, and we've got rook and king. So that would be an even swap, would it? No, he could actually, after the swap, he could finish up with pawn to e4, because our knight's that might be a good move for him too. And maybe knight takes f2 is one threat. Is there another threat?
Not sure.
Not sure. All right. Have we looked at all checks and captures? So show me some more captures. So you look at knight taking on f2. That was a capture. Where else could that knight go? Could it go to g3? Because the pawn's pinned. So that would win a free pawn and attack the rook.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've taken the time to look, we've found two threats. But there's another threat as well. We could take the bishop, but then his knight would take us back. So that's piece for piece. So would that be a threat, or that's just a swap? Swap, all right. But you're nearly there. Have you looked at, is there another capture he can do that would win him something? Remember, the knight's taking the bishop, attacking the bishop, but the bishop's defended by the knight. So white takes. Yeah, so white's also threatening rook takes f3. And then when he recaptures, the knight takes the bishop. So we get two pieces for rook. Now the question for Rebecca, did you see any of these threats?
Yeah, I did.
You did, but you played rook d7. So tell me about that. Does that get out of the threats, or you had a good counter attack, or what?
I just thought I could try and take his c7 pawn and then maybe try and get his b7 pawn.
Okay.
And try and win.
But you're not worried that he might be getting two pieces for rook, or taking your f pawn or your g pawn and stuff like that?
Not really, no.
Not really, no. Okay. All right, let's have a talk. Let's see if William's there. William, are you there? Talk to me, William. Nope, he's not there. I was going to ask him if he thought it was a good idea. All right, this is one of the problems I think with a lot of juniors, is that they focus on what they're doing, not what their opponent can do. So you're looking at, what can you attack, but you haven't paid so much attention to what he can do in reply. Now, you were a bit lucky here, because he had a similar problem. He just focused on what you'd done. He said, oh my God, that rook's on the 7th, that might annoy me. So he's only looking a little bit area of the board, and he said, I better get out of that. And he's played rook f7 instead of maybe taking the knight or the g pawn or something that would have been better. So you did a swap. All right, now, Ethan, your go. You can be white. What move would you like to play here? Has white got a good move?
Rook e1.
Rook e1? No, because the bishop will then come in on f2. Remember, if you're trying to find a combination, we look for all checks and captures. A good move? A check and a capture?
Knight takes c5.
Yeah, that's it. So again, if we force ourselves to go through the ritual of checking and looking at captures and checks and things, so Rebecca's picked up a pawn. Well done, and you've got the two bishops. So how do you reckon you're going here, Rebecca?
Good.
Yeah, I reckon you're a little bit better here. You've got better pawns and the two bishops and stuff?
Yeah.
All right. Now you drop back there for a swap off. Tell me about that.
I wanted to, if did swap off, if I took back, I would have a open file for my rook,
Okay.
which could easily be its like attacking range.
All right. So that will get your rook into the game. Let's see. Haran, are you there?
Yeah,
How are you today, Haran?
good.
So Rebecca just played bishop e3, and she's thinking if the other guy takes it, she's got the open f file. So do you reckon that's a good plan or not?
Um, not sure.
Not sure. Okay. All right. We'll ask someone else. Thanks, Haran. Who else can we ask? Gary's the expert. Are you there, Gary? Say hello to me, Gary. Nope. We're not getting Gary either. All right. Rebecca, what are you going to do on the F file? Hasn't it got all the squares?
I was thinking of trying to get the king maybe cornered, or maybe trying to get some pawns on the 7th rank.
All right. So you're trying to attack him. Now he went back, but what would you do here, Ethan? Would you go backwards or would you swap the bishop?
Backwards.
You go backwards? Why would you go backwards? You don't want to have the swap?
No.
Well, swapping, Rebecca, doesn't that give you an extra isolated pawn? Make up your pawns a bit?
Yeah, but
See, were it me, I would take. You take back, check, big deal. I put my king here. Now you can't take my h pawn because I and I trap your bishop. So I've mucked up your pawns. Now look at you've got a lovely bishop, but I've got a lovely knight. How are you going to get rid of that knight on e5? And my king's covering all the 7th rank squares. So I reckon black's in no trouble here, is at least equal sort of thing. So maybe slight boo-boo there. Anyway, we'll plot on. So you stopped his knight coming. He tried to activate the rook. You chased his knight back, so that was good. He played a4. That's probably all right. He decided to defend his pawn. Now, you're still trying to attack him. Is that right? G4, is that your plan?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering, is the correct plan for an ending to be attacking?
Maybe. It really depends on the position.
Yeah. What would you do in endings, Ethan? Would you try to attack, or what would be your plan in ending?
Attack.
Do you think endings are attacks where you try and checkmate the other king and things like that?
Checkmate the other king.
It's very hard when you haven't got enough pieces, though, in an endgame. So normally you should be focusing on putting your pieces on good squares and building up, trying to get a past pawn and stuff. So I don't know whether attacking is the right idea. So if your brain's saying attack, Rebecca, I'd reprogram yourself in the ending. Anyway, he played King G7. So people type in what you'd play for white here. Your opponent's just played King G7. What move would you play for white? Few have come up with a reasonable idea. Sam's going G5. Jason's going Bishop D4. All right, what would you do, Ethan? If you were white, what move would you play? Rook D1. Doesn't that win a piece?
Yeah.
Seems to win a piece. Rebecca, you didn't win a piece. You played Bishop D4 check. What happened?
I just didn't see it.
Didn't see it. So were you in time trouble at this stage or not?
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. So it's a situation where maybe if you had have just taken that extra 5 seconds and had a good look around the board before you made your move, you might have picked up the Rook D1, which would have won straight away. Anyway, you went check. So we had a bit of a exchange of pawns. Now he seems to be getting his pieces into the game a bit. And he's chasing you around. And we have a bit of a swap off. Now you're still trying to attack. You're trying to get your rook into the 7th rank. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could easily defend with rook e7. I might have been starting to try to bring my king up or something. Anyway. Now, all right, so he's attacking that knight. Ethan, he's threatening to take that knight and win the pawn. So if you were black, what would you do? How could you get out of it? Rook e3. So you'd count
Knight e3.
knight e3. So forking the lot of them. I'll tell you what, people type in what you would play for black here. White's threatening to win a pawn. It's not much material on the board. So what should black play here? William's gone knight e3. Ryan's gone rook e5. Max has done the same. Daniel's gone knight e3. Roman's gone knight e3. Sam's gone knight f4. Right, so you like knight e3, Ethan? You reckon that'd be good?
Yeah.
Yeah, the trouble is he'd probably play rook e1 and pin our knight. So we're not making much progress. I reckon rook e5 is the move because we're trying to put our pieces on good squares. So that defends the knight and counter-attacks the d4. So all of those of you who played rook e5, good stuff. But black's also attacking. And now Rebecca can get her rook in, chasing in the corner. And now the h4 is attacked, so Rebecca played king h2. I was watching this game, and I think I went up to Lachlan and said, I don't think this game's going to last much longer because I had a premonition of what black's next move might be. And he decided to attack. And Rebecca, what happened here?
Well, I thought I was gonna do something like king move or a pawn up move, but then I realised there was a checkmate in 2.
So hopefully you stopped and you looked at all checks and captures and you mated him in 2. So great stuff. So again, you've won the game basically because he looked at what he could do and was focusing on that, and he hasn't stopped to spend that 5 seconds just checking his move to see there's not a big blunder and there's not a good reply. So anyway, that's all I've got for you today, but I think judging at all those positions and games we looked at, Ethan's games and Lachlan's games and Rebecca's games, all of you still need to do that slowing down, that checking, playing a bit safer, and then we get rid of those blunders from our games and we play really well. And particularly with Ethan, what do you got to do with your knights? Don't move them to G5 or B5 or anything until you're ready later in the game when you're ready to attack. But you've been moving a bit too early. Now, next week, I think we have Yavini in as my guest student. And David's also asked me to mention the Best in the West tournament coming up in a couple of weekends' time. I know quite a few of you are going to go to that, and I think David and Carl are going to go there coaching as well. So have a think about that if you guys haven't been the Best in the West. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's lesson, and we'll see you all either online later tonight or next Thursday. Thanks very much.